Well, hello and good evening. Survivor 50 in the hands of the fans, episode 10, a side dish of chaos is over. Our mission to cover every merge, blindside, and meltdown and masterstroke continues here on Super Mario Brothers podcast, live streaming here tonight on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and you might be listening to us in audio version. The season that features the largest Survivor cast in history, 24 returning players from across 49 seasons. Big night tonight, where we not only did we get a Survivor auction, but MrBeast dropped a nuclear twist on the game, and Devons flipped his way into safety and a doubled prize pool. $2 million, everyone, up for grabs. Still yelling, a side dish of chaos from across the dinner table. I'm your host, Dave Mader, and he got a great panel here to break it all down. He's here for the competitions, the chaos, the clutch performances, not the celebrity tie-ins, the stunt casting, or the YouTubeification of Survivor. And tonight, MrBeast dropped into the auction like a branded meteor and doubled the prize money. Nobody was more annoyed than him. Josh Foster, everyone.
At least it was at the end of the auction.
At least it was at the end. Glad to have you with us, Foster. We're going to break it all down. Of course, a long-time Survivor strategist who misses the 39-day grind and the ruthless gameplay of the Russell Hantz era. And if the merge doesn't deliver cutthroat strategies, he's unimpressed. But if the blind sides get spicy, he's all in. And at this live tribal chaos, this Devon's coin flick miracle, the double prize pool, was it up your alley? Jeff Mader.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He was here for it, everyone. It was a Russell Hantz-esque move, perhaps. Double or nothing. Of course, here's the man always to break it down. Funko Stacked, Opinions Prime, the pop culture tactician who can smell a misleading edit from a mile away. And if a side dish of chaos turns into a full-blown feud with the MrBeast twist, detonated the game, as it absolutely did, he's going to be here to break it down. It's Jaemeel, slices through the noise. Robinson, everyone.
How's it going, everyone? Rough day for me, but what can you do?
What's happening, Jaemeel? Is this a bad day because of Survivor or something else?
The Raptors lost. Is that why?
Yeah, Raptors lost. I thought they could win. I thought they pulled out, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
sorry to hear that.
Why they had to put Survivor on the same time important Raptors?
That was brutal. I had to keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then,
I was not going back and forth at all, so I was
because I wanted to watch.
That's a great segue today because we're not talking about Survivor and MrBeast. We're going to talk about the Raptors and sports. Jaemeel, great segue, Jaemeel. Great segue.
The Blue Jays had a good day, So
yeah,
I was wearing my lucky jersey, my jersey I wore during the 2019 run.
The Huskies jersey.
Yeah, Husky. I wore it the entire 2019 run. So
he's going with the Huskies jersey.
Not over yet, Jaemeel.
Jaemeel, but could this not cheer you up here tonight? Were you not entertained? Were you not entertained with this?
Okay. So the problem with what this twist is they did almost the exact same thing on the Beast games. So there were reports saying, okay, what did the Survivor Beast Games twist? What was that? And it was almost the exact same thing, which is a contestant had the chance to flip a coin, and if they flipped the coin, it would go from a $5 million prize pool to a $10 million prize pool, right? But if it went to the negative, then they would automatically be eliminated. So
okay, this was the Survivor version of that, and you're saying It's been done, not that exciting from that standpoint. Maybe a bit of a ripoff, even.
Yeah, well, it kind of disrupted the flow of the game. I felt.
I think the castaways felt like they were happy with this disruption. I would say.
I don't think it matters.
They're happy because they have a chance of $2 million.
Stephanie was going home tonight, no matter what.
Okay, well, yeah, there was the result. We get the result here of Devon saving himself, and Stephanie happens to go out here, and maybe she would have gone anyway. I don't know. It's like
Devon was going to be fine.
100% Stephanie was going home tonight.
Yeah,
like that vote did not matter. Like,
well, it was, but he still went for it. Then it was even more ballsy to do it. Then is it more impressive because if he was the foregone conclusion to go out here, he doesn't have that much to lose. But in this situation, like, you know, if depends if he really knew he was going or not. Let's say he did, then ballsy.
He's go ahead, Jeff.
I think he kind of like it was 50-50 going into tribal, and then he just like nailed the hammer down, and Stephanie was sealed. Fate was sealed. That's how I read it.
Okay, but guys, we're burying the lead here. Yes, Stephanie is the result to go here, but like, come on, there was all this episode before that. We had the auction. We had people eating, you know, sandwiches and slugs and things like that. We had an immunity challenge, a pretty decent one here, Foster. But we also had MrBeast, the biggest star of the internet. The Jimmy, he added $1 million to the prize pot here tonight.
Do you want Foster to leave again?
I'm just trying to help him understand. Like, see, this was an historic night.
Okay.
They kept saying that. They said that like 10 times in the episode. This is a historic night.
They sold me on it. I was buying the hype. I cried.
This episode could have been a half an hour shorter. They could have done a montage to a majority of the auction.
Oh, now look what you've done.
Foster, he's either keeps closing his window or he's getting kicked out.
They could have done a montage of the auction and some of the challenge, and it would have still been an hour and a half. It didn't need to be 2 hours.
As far as episodes go with an auction and like a, you know, family letters scene, there was at least something exciting that like kind of happened, but it's like these episodes always suck, you know, like this episode in the merge always kind of sucks, I find. And it was a better than most because they had like the MrBeast kind of like twist, but it was again, it was the vote to me was kind of concluded early. You know, they made it seem like mass hysteria. There's a lot of red herring editing going on this season where they try to make you think something's crazy and it's, oh my God, it's chaos. And then it's a unanimous vote.
You know, with all the games, the Beast games, the Survivor games, there
was a Raptors game today.
The Raptors games, the Blue Jays also got mentioned. So
Blue Jays. Yeah.
Game time.
Good job for Springer. But anyways, okay. This episode was, as Jeff kind of said, was wrapped up pretty early. The moment that people started talking and the moment that Suri was looped into what Jonathan's plan was, it was done. It died on the vine immediately, right?
Right. And they need to pull in Joe because Joe then goes to Suri, and then when Suri knows that it's on Ozzy, then it's over.
Yeah, it's done, right? And that was the end of it.
And who blew that?
It was Joe. But it's also the miscalculation to tell Joe, right? Because you know, or making sure that Joe.
They needed his vote, but
like
you leave it to the end. You don't tell them early
because they go to Devon's and they say, "Hey, what about getting Ozzy?" And Ozzy goes, "Well, what about He says, "I'll talk to Emily if you talk to Joe." And so it ends up being.
I don't think he was even being serious.
He was being serious. I think so. That Jonathan really he tells Joe, but then Joe goes right to Suri, and then it all falls apart.
What Jeff means in terms of Devon's being serious is Devon's like, "Oh, I'll tell Emily absolutely what you just told me," not to say that they're actually on board, right? Right, and not realizing the difference between Devon saying he's going to go tell Emily and what that means is where, like, look, everyone knows that Jonathan is a challenge beast, right? He's the muscles and everything like that, and he's really trying this season to kind of step into that, like, strategist role, and he's not necessarily well equipped, right, for that social game as in comparison to Suri. Suri is effortlessly moving pieces around, and Jonathan looks like he's running up a mountain, if I have to use his origin.
Yeah, but his dad's gonna make him run up 3 more times because he didn't win the race.
He's losing pieces left and right, and Suri is easily nonchalantly protecting Ozzy all this time, by barely working.
Ozzy never had a friend. I never had a friend like Sari's been to Ozzy in this game. Like, this has been crazy. Like, how much she has helped his game, and he hasn't even, like, he has this idol, and he never has to even bother using it because by the time they get to tribal council, it's well off Ozzy, and it's on to all kinds of other people. And I think that Sari could win the game, and if Sari does end up winning this, I think we'll point back to moments like this in the season where she really made sure that she kept her numbers and she didn't allow other alliances to get ahead, which is kind of what like that's what Jonathan and Steph were trying to do it, but they did. I think they were both sloppy. I agree with you in that respect. I think that the alliance of Jonathan, Joe, Stephanie, I guess that's it, right? But like it used to have Coach and Chrissy in it, like that alliance, and Coach was the brains, I guess. That's saying something, so it hasn't been going so well. Jonathan, I respect that he's trying to play a different game this time. He's trying to be more cerebral, but he's just not, and so I think even if he gets to the end, I'm not even sure if he's going to have enough merits to win. And, here he really, Foster, we haven't heard from you. I want to get your whole reaction on everything here tonight, but,
I don't under how can we,
Go ahead.
Can we count how many times? Yeah, thank you, Dave. Can we count how many times Sari has been on her throne, which is the hammock, and people come tell her every single thing that's going on?
Yeah, it's not.
She's just sitting there chilling, and then someone comes up to her and tells her something or asks her something, and it's in 75% of the time it's about Ozzy, which is hilarious. Like, it's always, and then Sari's like, no, in confessionals, which again, nobody still doesn't realize that they're number ones for each other, or if you will, I think that's what it is. But she's literally like all the time, she's just sitting there. People just come up to her and talk to her. And I don't know, again, if it's the that she is that trust, like people just trust talking to her, like they open up and they're like, oh, what do you think of this idea? And this and this. And I don't know. I just find it really interesting. Like you said, Jaemeel, it's effortless.
It's feeling rigged. I'm like,
rigged.
It really is. It really, like, nobody. It's just insane to me that you have a player like Sari there that's that big of a threat, and nobody is ganging up to try to get her out. It makes no sense.
Jeff, it isn't rigged. It's rigged in the sense of the people that they put on this season. Right. That's how it's rigged, because so many of the people, especially a lot of the new people, look to Sari as like a legend, right? And then all the people who the only person that really want to punch Sari in the mouth in terms of like, you have a plan, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, was Jenna. And Jenna hit the bricks immediately the moment that she started talking. They got rid of her quick time. But like these people, a lot of these people aren't equipped to face someone like Sari, right? Ozzy,
and just to add to that, I think Sari has done a good job of getting out people that would be against her. Yeah, like Jenna, right? Like to your point, that
really,
like
Jenna, that's the one player.
Well, she's one
out of
50
seasons of Survivor that knows Sari's a good Survivor player and knows to get her out. Like,
Jeff, you're misreading what I'm saying. I'm talking about there's players that look at Sari and don't think the sun shines out of her ass. And a good portion of the people that they got this season are people who have like Q, like all the people that they picked. You have all the people from more recent times. All of them, they're under the Serene regime.
But you're right. Q would not have been. Q would have had no time for it. But Q's gone. Like a lot of these types of players that.
No,
there are a lot of people here this season who are just like, oh, Sari, I love you. I'll tell you anything. They want her to like them, even though she's gonna win. Like, they're dumb. You're right. It's miscalculated.
But Jeff, if Boston Rob was there, do you think Sari would be able to get away with what she's doing? No.
Well, apparently
if
she
Lex was there,
be able to like minionize. Because she's that good, and Boston Rob as good? Like, I guess I think the thing is that I've said this before on this season. Like, I'm really disappointed with the lack of legends that they brought back for this season. Like, there's really it's like Sari Ozzy, Coach. That's really it. Like that those are the legends that they brought back. And that's pretty sad.
Jenna.
No, not a legend. Sorry.
She came third in All Stars.
Did she?
Yeah, with Boston
Okay.
Rob and Amber.
Okay.
No, she didn't come. No, not with them because that was the final two.
Well, she got to the third. She got to 3.
Yeah,
with them.
that's not the final 3. Like
She got to final 3, and then they voted her out, and then that was it.
same thing.
You know,
It's
Like,
always getting to the end.
Oh, okay. Who was third place in Australia?
wasn't it Colby?
No,
No,
Colby and
Colby
Tina
wasn't.
were at the end. Was it Jerry?
I don't know. What's your point to that,
The
Jaemeel?
point is, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If you remembered, you remembered. If you're not,
Well, okay, then why? Then Coach never won either.
Push got to the
and-
end.
Okay, but okay, so you gotta be at the final. But then, even then, like, what's your cred? What? Who
I'm
would
just
be a
saying,
legend?
Like Jenna's not a legend of the game, Dave. Like just because she played in season 1, and
Well,
you
we
know,
got a pretty good
Dave-
mix here in this cast.
Dave,
No,
what do you
this is my
remember?
whole
What is
point.
Jenna most remembered for?
she's
Jenna's
just remembered for
Peking
being
Peak
on season 1.
Bikini. You know,
She was on season 1. That's it. That's
Yeah.
that's it.
Colby's remembered for being the All-American guy. Coach is remembered for being coach, right? Like a lot of these people are being remembered. Like Jenna isn't one of those things. Aubrey, I love Aubrey, right? Aubrey's known as a person who's a game bot and who lost and go wrong. That's basically what she's known for.
It's not
Yeah.
false advertising here, though. This is not advertised as like the season of legends. It's in the hands of the fans. It's season 50. It's
It's just when you bring Suri back to the season and you put her on a seat, it bothers me when they do this because they did this with Boston Rob too. They put him on a season against Russell Hanson, a bunch of dummies, and Boston Rob just walked.
and he
to
ran
the
and
end.
he ran.
know?
But okay, but they're not all okay. Let's have just a quick look at this whole cast and look at like who they had here, you know, and like who.
There's just people on this cast, Dave, that like it's just like why are they there? You know, like
There are, but who do you respect? Like is someone like
I respect like the winners, like you know, like
Kyle?
D and Savannah seemed pretty good. You know,
Kyle?
yeah, Kyle, but he got hurt, right? So that's not his fault. You know, it's like it's like it's the Emilys, it's the Trishes, it's the
You were gonna say Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah, her.
Yeah.
It's just like these players where like they're not like anything special. Why are they on season 50? This should be a big season. You know, this is the 25th anniversary of the show. You know,
Right.
and it should just to me it should be as important as when they did Winners of War, which was a great season. And legitimately, and it was because they're all strategic and they were all very good at the game. And what we have here is like 3 people who are good at the game for the whole cast.
So-
And there's
so
24
you-
people.
Do you respect Ozzy's game? Do you respect
Ozzy's never been a strategic player. Okay. Ozzy's always been like a very you know, he's good at the challenges. He provides for his tribe and he tries to beat you in challenges. You know, like he tries to like get to the end that way. That's always been his game. And this game, he's
I
like,
feel
well,
like there's a lot of
maybe-
hand holding from Suri.
But well, yeah, all he's doing, you see it through every episode, is like Suri goes, "Look, this is what's happening," and Ozzy goes, "Am I surprised Steph's trying to get me out? No. Am I going to do something about it?
No.
No. You know,
Well, I get that part, but like, can we not give Suri? I guess you are giving Suri her credit. You're saying
for
why
sure.
didn't they? Like, if you're gonna cast this, you need to cast some more formidable opponents to her. You know, and I also think like some people got blindsided. Like, I think Mike White would have been good to see go head to head with her up at this stage because they have a similar kind of manipulative game and who could have outdone who. But right now, she's like, I don't know, like nobody's talking about her. If they do want to target her side, they're talking either about Ozzy or Rizzo, because they have idols, you know. So it seems like you would prioritize them ahead of her, but she's also more vulnerable. And at one point, she is like discussed tonight as the potential target, but then it gets flipped off her so fast that it doesn't.
is it though? Like, I just don't feel like there's a strong actual like plan. And I think Jameel's right. Like, you have like this Jonathan guy, and even Stephanie tonight, like she was just scrambling because she just didn't want it on her. and she was trying to. She literally threw every name at the wall and hoped one would stick. That was what she was doing, and that's not
Sari saw right through it, and Sari played her.
Plan. You know, like you have to put a plan together. And you keep your mouth shut. You get to and they had to steal a vote. They had a card to play tonight,
and they used
to make it happen. No, but like a real plan, To make
they had no
happen.
plan because everyone's playing each other, and they're there's these alliances are very unsound.
But, like,
this is the only person who had look. The only person who had a plan was Devins. And his plan wasn't really a plan. It was just create chaos. I know where all the dead bodies are. I'm going to air all of the dirty laundry, and everyone's going to be pointing at other people and not really pointing at me.
Not only that,
he had an idol that everyone saw, and not a single soul said, "Hey, let's put a vote on him," right? To try to flush it. If it was other seasons of Survivor where actually strategic people were worried about things, they would have been like, okay, everyone, let's split votes, half on Devins, half on Aubrey, right?
Yes,
and they did talk. They seemed to talk about that. It was chaos. This MrBeast twist was throwing them up into arms. Everyone, how could they handle it all?
What would have happened had Jonathan and Stephanie said, "No, we don't want Devins to flip the coin"?
I don't know.
They probably would have had to draw rocks, and whoever won was the one who would be able to flip the coin.
Because I think you can only object unless you're willing to do it. If you're not willing to do it, you can't stop Devins from doing it.
I think Stephanie should have objected and done the.
She should have. Yeah. She should have.
Then if she does it and she has to then flip the coin, she has a 50-50
shot. But she was going. I think she should have read that tribal before.
You're right.
She was going home. As an audience member, just watching that tribal, it was obvious.
Well, it was either her or Devins, or it
was Devins. Devins
was scot-free.
Threw her under the bus. It was obvious she was lying. And, so I just think Stephanie should have read the tea leaves there and said, you know what? Okay, if this is the twist, I'm going to go out on a 50-50 or a rock draw.
But isn't that criticism valid for Devins then? Because he blew up everyone's game tonight at Tribal Council. It was great.
That's his game. That's how he plays.
I know, but it was still amazing. And I'm like, well, everyone's gonna hate him even more now. Want to get him out now. Really. After he survived this coin flip tonight, and he did all this stuff. He's Jonathan wants him out. You got Sari wants him out. Rizzo wants him out.
Sari want him out? Why would
Sari? I think Rizzo will. And a few of those that side. I think that he was just kind of throwing everyone's game out there tonight. Mostly Jonathan and Stephanie's, but a few of the others too. And
Stephanie wasn't smart enough to throw Jonathan under the bus. She should have done that.
No, Jonathan votes for her here tonight too.
Yeah. Unanimous vote. Yeah.
Foster.
Also, again, for the 100th time on this fucking podcast, can they stop getting up? Please, Survivor, change the rules. You cannot get up. It would have been such a better tribal council had they actually had to talk that out on the stumps. And it's so annoying.
I hate it. It's not entertaining to watch on TV at all.
It must be exciting to play that way, I guess. Because you have all these people coming at you and they're all but it really means nothing. Ozzy going, I don't think you should do the steal of vote. All this stuff.
I watch it and it's chaos and I have no idea what's actually being agreed upon or what actually is real, right? Until they read the votes. Foster, you've been quiet. Tell us what you think.
I guess part of what I kind of said it last week and the example, and I'm trying to there's the personal side of how I've looked at this, and I kind of for this episode especially kind of said my kind of sort of piece last week, this week, and everything, right? And this is, and I try to obviously, as look at the kind of their perspective of the logical side, meaning Jeff and the producers, right? And Jeff, I agree with you, and I've said this for the beginning of the season. They did not bring enough people back that were, in my opinion, memorable, right? I haven't seen every season of Survivor, right? But again, why are you bringing back Tiff? Why are you bringing back Q? It's not about it is
Q. I understand.
Well, again, but it's not. But
Emily.
but the thing is,
Emily's
though,
another
it's-
one.
And what's
we
what,
can-
like Tiff? Well, Tiff's not the most entertaining in like confessionals, but
She's
like
a good
Tiff,
No,
challenge
but
person.
again,
That's
though,
why Jeff
it's
likes her.
there was a lot of people from season 41 on compared to season 40 and earlier. And I understand they had winners at war, and so they're probably limiting the people to bring back. Like, I don't think they brought anybody back from 40 to 50. Is that, I don't know if that's wrong or not to say.
that's wrong.
And it is.
They brought a lot
it
of
is
people
wrong.
back from 40.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It's like half the cast is from the 40s.
No, winners at war 40.
Oh.
Any people from that season?
No.
I don't think
think they did.
so.
No.
That's what
Right.
I mean. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
you're
talking
right.
about, right?
They didn't bring a
if
single
you're
person
not,
back from that season.
yeah. So if you're removing that, that significantly reduces the Legends pool in a sense, right? Because they're eliminating those who have won previously for that season, right? So
Before
you're
that
kind of separating
season.
from that. However,
Yeah.
going again, but that's looking at it from the old school perspective, it's still, to me, was still not enough people that again were icons. Remember, like, imagine and this is the first name at the top of my head. Imagine they brought Rupert back, like someone like that, right? Where
Yep.
I can do that, Rupert,
I'm not
myself.
I'm just thinking of I haven't seen all the seasons, but that's the first, because he's again, like, just the character and stuff, right? But
Here's this. Yeah, we'll get Richard Hatch. We'll get Rupert. We'll bring
there's,
him back.
there's a lot of
Bring
examples.
back
There's a lot
Rudy
of,
from the dead.
Rudy's coming back from the
yeah.
dead.
There's definitely better examples, but the point
Shambo.
is that there's not a lot of
Shambo.
39.
Shambo turned it down supposedly.
So
Shambo
that's
doesn't need
in
this.
terms of the old school perspective, like that. You're right, Jeff. There's not enough legends, and it is 50, and it is very significant. Now, one thing that I've been mentioning throughout this season with the podcast is that they've been really almost trying, because Survivor's been going on for 25 years with now 50 seasons. There is, it's like how they're redoing they're rebooting like the Harry Potter series, right? There is a hardcore fan base for that are very vocal and passionate about the originals. And just like Survivor, just like you guys, it's the same kind of concept here, right?
Well, like, when we
And
were growing
what
up, our
they're-
parents went on about hockey players and pro players, right?
But with like the new Harry Potter series, a point of them doing that, again, this is their logic, is that they're trying to bring in a new generation, new fans in the moment, and everything, right? And just that concept is the kind of similar for Survivor, where a lot of the cast is from season 41 on. So it's almost like they're trying to create these, or bring in all these newer people for the newer generation that may be watching, right?
That's why we need Mr. Beast.
And MrBeast, like these cameo, that's part of what's drawing them in. And again, I used the example a few weeks ago about how the NFL, Taylor Swift, is now engaged to Travis Kelce. And as someone who loves the NFL, I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. But that outlet of bringing people in, again, I'm looking at from the business company perspective, right? Whether I'm taking my personal feelings out of it. So what they're doing here is, even when MrBeast, when he walked up and he had said, I wasn't sure if you guys were going to recognize me, which I texted Dave, and I pretty much, like, that was from someone
he texted Barf
Survivor long enough
to me.
Well, I did that when he walked, and it was just so off-putting, because you basically just outed yourself to say, well, I don't know if like you guys are even gonna know, because like, no, you're right, they wouldn't really know. Like, Rizzo was the only really one, because he's so much younger, and it wasn't even him, it was his brother, right? So it's not even about the players there, it's about bringing new people in to watch the show. So when MrBeast, who has all these followers, all of this fame, if you will, internet new age fame, then it's bringing in this newer audience to watch the show. And then if you condense that amount of people, you say, okay, like, let's just say 100 people watch the show extra, like on a ratio, then we get 10 new people, so 10% of new viewers, right? Because they like the episode, they like the show. So again, I can understand from the perspective of them trying in my opinion, forcing it to make these efforts to try to bring in new people or new fans. Again, I'm just like you guys. I really do not agree with it when there is such a hardcore fan base that's been around for so long, and especially watching 40. With you guys, like how passionate. Like personally didn't see it, and I really regret that. Right, really regret that. Like not seeing it live and stuff. Is it just adds on with people like yourself who have been there since the beginning, how low this season is compared to what it actually should mean.
That's kind of where I am at with it a little bit too. Like, I mean, I enjoyed the episode. I have no problem MrBeast being on the episode. I actually thought that was kind of exciting. I thought it was interesting. Okay, it was different. It was, like I said, it was a good episode for the family letter episode, which is never a good episode, or a family visit episode, which I'm glad they didn't do. They're like, oh, I have it's day 19. I've been away from my family for 2 weeks and a bit.
2 weeks plus quarantine or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, but like the overall, it's not for me. It's more the cast. Like it's like it should be like more like Winners at War felt. That's my main
okay.
point.
Well, I guess it doesn't, but we can't just dwell on that. Like we have to call it for what it is, and I don't know. Like, but I I agree. Like, they got to appeal to a newer generation. Like, this is one of the last TV shows that's really going that like people watch every weeknight, like at a certain time. Like, a lot of shows are streaming, drop when they drop, like sure they come out on a certain day, but this is Survivor still is like a CBS show, right? That's like a TV show still.
Like
And
Big Brother.
and it's so like so to watch MrBeast come in tonight, like I thought he actually felt a little bit out of place because normally in his videos he's edited to be like, hey, I'm giving away like $1 billion and I'm going, like it will zoom in and they'll edit him to be all like super funny and clever with his friends, but here he was very naked and raw and not so impressive. And we're like, oh, he's just like this lanky tall guy, who's kind of like, and I think he felt like he was kind of intruding on some level. I don't think he was completely comfortable in his own skin here, where he was just like, I'm happy to give away $1 million because he made all this money, making videos, and now he's just like, I don't know, like I'll give some away. Like he's like, see ya. This is, but so, and I don't think he overdid it.
This is a.
It wasn't like he was selling like his chocolate bars or anything here tonight.
It was
like,
an advertisement for him, though. Like that's what
Yeah.
it is today.
No, yeah, there is a benefit. This
is no different than when Applebee's is on or anything else, right?
This
Like
is
it's
bigger than Applebee's.
He doesn't have a blooming onion.
well, Applebee's never gave them $1 million to add to the prize pool before. So if
They gave him something more. The margarita, the grand margarita. Okay.
like the pineapple Rita.
Pineapple Rita, yeah.
There's levels to this.
There is levels to this, but like I don't know.
Under the stars.
Pizza under the stars. This is true.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought MrBeast, like the twist was good. It wasn't great because Suri has such a control over the game. It was kind of predictable.
Okay. So how about some of the other parts of the episode? Like how about the auction? How about the
Let's
auction?
talk about the auction. Okay, so a running segment that we've had 2 episodes in a row, or this will be the second episode, is a little history on the auction. So I did a little research. So Survivor auction has occurred 19 times. First starting with Australia, the Australian Outback. And then it happened 9 additional times on Australian Survivor. We saw mention of some of the various variations of it, with one instance being mentioned, which was the person with the most money at the end of the auction loses their vote. They decided not to do that, which I kind of wish they did. See how things went. Now, during the history of this, 23 people have won a letter from home. Now it's 33 people. There's
But
10
they
people
all
left.
tonight they just all got their letters. Like they didn't win
Yeah, so
anything.
33 people. So 33
This was
people.
hard. This was hardly an auction. They basically just gave them $500, and then they said, "Who wants to buy a sandwich?" And yeah, there could be a twist, but most of it wasn't. Most of it was just them stuffing their faces.
I think it would have been better had they had MrBeast run the auction. That would have been better.
Yeah.
Personally, I think
so-
I know Josh, you probably disagree. I think
He
it
got
would have
he
been
got his more than MrBeast than he could have ever wanted in a lifetime.
MrBeast could have done a better job with that auction because I think he would have introduced more chaos to it and made that's his whole thing. That's what he
Normally his
The
twists
chaos
are
was
usually
fun.
very dramatic, right? Like you can win $1 billion if you sell at your brother forever. Do you want to do it? No or yes. And then they
I wish they said that, okay, you can get this, but you have to take away food from someone who's currently eating, or something like that, or take the money away from people, or like you have to add, you're going to get an extra vote if you take this luxury, right? There
was none of those kind of perils. I thought it was actually like if you're going to do an auction, do a better auction than this. I thought that this was mostly
The
just
grubs were weak. They should have had like the eye that they had like years ago.
the one. The one that Jonathan got, like the fact that it was cooked. I don't know. Maybe it tastes awful. I'm sure it did taste awful, but I was like, it's cooked. Like, I can get through something that's cooked. I think versus having to eat like a raw living tube grub.
Yeah, I'll be at 2 grubs.
That would be tough.
Did anyone else notice that Joe didn't buy anything, and it
He
was
was waiting
almost
for the
like
loved ones.
He was, and
Yeah,
then
that's-
and
yeah.
they're like, well, and then
then
so
everyone gets it.
do you get to keep the money you don't spend?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yes.
So it was kind of interesting,
Which is what they
because
did
he
in
was
Kavian too.
well, and also too, they've also I know that there's I remember the Tony season, it was like a advantage or something like that, or an idol, whatever it was, the last thing or something like that, right? Or a clue to an idol. But it Joe's holding on to it. Yeah, I guess for the letter, and then everyone gets the letter. So not only did he get no food, but so that was also kind of anticlimactic. Obviously, it's nice to see everyone get letters, but I do kind of like a little bit of the predicament the idol winner would get if they have to select who gets the letter to go on the reward with them or what have you, right? Or idol, not idol, whatever it is, like idol and or just reward. I don't think I've seen everyone get the letter.
What's that, Jaemeel?
What they should have had was, okay, the letters. Now everyone will have to give the remainder of their money for everyone to get a letter. But we have one more prize, one more auction item after this if people have money. And see the struggle with people wanting to give up their opportunity of what could possibly be an advantage for the loved ones letter. There was no real stakes for the loved one letters, and that's what I hated.
No test.
This is part of the test of Survivor.
There was no test of Survivor. This was just a give. This was just a gimme tonight. This was just all the love. So this was I feel like this whole season is kind of it's like they've pushed them a little bit, but for the most part they haven't had to suffer too bad. Christian probably the most of anybody with that Jimmy Fallon twist last week that really didn't go his way. But otherwise, for the most part, the players haven't been screwed over too bad. Genevieve a little bit, I guess, this season. She had a rough go. But yeah, okay. And then
look, I wish this season was all of that, where it's like, hey, you people that got a second opportunity to play Survivor. Some of you we consider that deserved it. Some of you are legends. Some of you are not.
They're becoming legends maybe this season.
You're all going to hate
making.
this season. You're all going to have opportunities taken from you, right? What's happened to Sari in past seasons where she got eliminated without having a vote filed against her?
Yeah.
It should be stuff. It should be I'm sorry, Christian. You know what? You rolled the dice. It didn't work out, right?
He wanted to go on that journey. No one made him.
This would have been the perfect season where we see that constantly, right? Where the strategy is you roll the dice if you're desperate, right? And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit too easy right now, I feel.
Yeah, go big, go home, right? How about the fact that they
there's really nobody that's desperate. That's what I'm noticing. It's like everyone kind of thinks that like, oh well, I'm with Sari until I'm not, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm scrambling. That's kind of what's happening.
That is like the new game. That is what everyone's playing now, which is basically I'm just worried about getting until tomorrow. No one has a vision for the long game, if you will. Like they're just kind of going and hoping at the end that people will vote for them without even worrying about who the big threats are. They talk about that. But...
And the person that is the most disappointing that's playing like that this season is Ozzy. Like, what are you doing, Ozzy? Like you're gonna get to the end and with Sari, you're gonna lose. You know, like you're gonna lose huge too. You're not even gonna get a vote. Like it makes no sense. Like in the back of his head, if I were Ozzy, I'd be thinking about stabbing Sari in the back. Like I'm just waiting for my moment, and then I would do it.
So I gotta head out, but before I head out, I just have this thing to say. Sari's going to have to betray Ozzy, have to betray Rizzo, and now in this case have to look after Devins, because she's been screwed over before with all these advantages still floating in this game, and with all these idols, especially 3 idols in this game. If it gets down to it, right, if someone has immunity, that's 4 people that you can vote out, right? That's too many elements in the game, right? Especially a person who's lost due to this. She needs to start picking out the people that have these advantages, right? And now they're all on her side, but she's going to have to flip the script.
All right, well said, Jaemeel. Thank you for being with us tonight. We bid you a good one, and bonsoir, and we'll catch you with you next time. Okay, gentlemen. Well, Foster, I think this is a good moment to segue from that auction to the immunity challenge itself tonight. It's a classic. You're stepping on the beam. You got the ball on the little groovy half circle thingy, and it's a test of you. It's usually like a woman or a smaller person. Smaller feet are like, I think, one of the key aspects of this particular challenge we got tonight, and it ends up being a Tiffany win. What's your analysis?
You know how I like a good classic immunity challenge, single immunity challenge. The relay races, we're past that point in this season, right? So, but no, I do like this one. It's, again, the thing is that some of the immunity challenges, like I said, I feel like most of the iconic ones are endurance. Those are typically the ones that are the most, like those have been around. Like this one's been around. We saw, the hand roller one, right? Not as many seasons, right? But it's become more of a staple in the last few seasons, or number of seasons now. This is one of those ones that I do enjoy it because it's, they do have a lot of variations when it comes to the balancing kind of act, if you will. And the bow definitely adds that little bit extra to it. Like you even see, like as soon as they get down to the smaller one, Jonathan's out, just based on
he tried his best, yeah, right? But he couldn't hold on there. But let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let me just ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
But like this came down to like a pretty good final 4 here, I thought, in terms of competition performers. You got Ozzy, you get Joe, Tiffany, and Jonathan is the fourth one, last one out, because he's like the biggest guy. His feet don't work there. But like we might be disappointed, like, oh well, we don't have enough strategic play here. But like just from like people who are good at challenges, like in this cast, are you satisfied with the level of competition we're seeing in these challenges?
It's interesting because every single challenge you see Ozzy and Joe consistently in the top 3 or 4. Like every single immunity challenge that we've had, since the merge. Jonathan's always been kind of hovering, right? But it's always been but it's consistently in the top. It's always been Ozzy and Joe. And what's been nice is that, again, and this was a perfect example of tonight, where Tiff won, right? Where there is somebody who can come in and win, because the challenge is, in a sense, I guess, I guess maybe better suited for them, you could call it, right? Or they just have a better or easier time, if you will. Again, I really, and I've been saying this about Joe and Ozzy, like they, from the men's side, have the best chance, in my opinion, at this point, because of the dominance with the challenges or especially the immunity challenges. However, from the female side, Suri with the strategic game, right? So again,
not a competition game, for
no, again, like there is a clear divide as to who's, you're gonna have an Aubrey win an immunity challenge. You're gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna have um like Tiff won tonight kind of thing, right? So you're gonna have those odd people kind of thing maybe win a second one kind of thing, right? I'm surprised Jonathan hasn't won one, to be honest, an individual immunity. But he is
might
going
be.
up against.
Well, I think he's trying in some of them. Like I think he
Oh,
won this
no.
one, but I don't think he wants to be
Yeah.
seen as winning them all either.
They're all endurance stuff, though.
Yeah, and again, this one is not built for his size. So it's and it like even like the pole one, right? Like Jonathan would be really good at it, but because he's so much bigger, the weight is so much heavier, right? So again, I've been impressed with the kind of consistency because you're seeing a constant battle with those three guys every week in terms of the actual. And again, it's nice to see like anybody like Tiff can win today. Again, it's not one of maybe my favorite staple challenges, you could call it, but I do like it though. It's not an easy one in my opinion. It's not a great one to watch, but I mean it's nice to see. It's fun to see the recoveries. I guess is the funnest thing to watch. I guess.
Well, okay, so like your answer seems to indicate to me that like competitor wise, it's not like we just got one person that's dominating this whole season in challenges. We've had some wins on, like both genders. I would say, you had Stephanie and you had Tiffany win individual immunity so far. You've had players like Joe and Ozzy really bringing it right from the beginning. But
Did
how much
Aubrey not win one?
I
thought Aubrey won one.
Maybe she did. So the first one was
Was I
Stephanie. Chris. Who else has won this? Christian. Ozzy's won. Joe and Tiffany have won. Joe, Tiffany. Yeah, and then so like those are the people.
Wrong, then.
No, I don't think so. But like I think but how much does that weigh against? Like should Tiffany have been cast on the season, Jeff, because she's good at challenges, or should they have just said, you're not going to be able to like bring the level of play we want from a Survivor 50?
I just think like it's more like I just don't see the strategic like and TV character. Like to me, it's like you got to have three things to be on Survivor. You got to be a good TV character. You gotta have like a strategic, like explain your strategy to the camera and to the audience. And then like to me, the third thing is like how good you are at challenges in your tribe and all that like nonsense. Like, like that's tertiary to me.
That's it matters, but not that much.
Not really. I mean, it's just like all it is like when they get to tribal, one person's exempt. That's what happens. And so like if you want to say like, oh, the challenges are so important, there's a couple times in the history of the game where it's like that, like the Mike Holloway like win where he won out, where the challenges really mattered. But for the most part, the challenges don't matter.
But only because they wanted to get him out for like a long time, and then they couldn't, and that earns you like this reputation, respect of sort of unkillable. What could be more of a survivor? You get to the end, so challenges do matter, but your chances of like running the game and winning every challenge until you win the finals is low. So you have to have a social game on some level, right?
And even if you do that and you get to the end and everyone hates you. Like Russell won the final challenge in 19, and he should, he didn't matter.
They didn't like him. They didn't want to give it to him.
Like,
right?
Just winning challenges, it's so tertiary to the game. The game really, at the end of the day, the game is a social construct, and it's about basically getting people to not look at you at a vote, and you are in charge of deciding people off the game. That's really what it is.
Earlier in the season, Mike White described the game as it's basically one of persuasion, where you're constantly trying to persuade people to your what your agenda is. This is also the episode he gets voted out in, so you can take his advice or analysis for what it is. But yeah, he
played it when he played, he got far.
He did, and he was looking like he was going to have another good season, but then Christian didn't want to get to be gotten in the same way.
They're kind of the same. This happens a lot in Survivor, where people kind of go, "Well, I'm the same archetype as that player, and I don't want that player around because I need to fill."
And Mike White and Christian had played together in their original season, right?
Right.
And Mike White had gotten Christian out at the right time, and so Christian's like, I can't let Mike White do this to me again, so I'm going to get him before he gets me, and that's what happened. And a lot of it's like the ghosts of their previous seasons in a season, especially like this. We haven't had a returning season since 40, so it's been like 9 seasons of all new players. Finally, we have all these new people back. And maybe it's not as exciting as it could be, like a Winners at War, but I find it, I'm dialed into these episodes. I'm invested on who wins this. I guess there are certain players I'm less entertained if they win.
Here's my issue is that it just seems like, and maybe she's just making it look easy, but it seems quite easy. Like even what Josh said earlier, it's like, how many scenes are we going to get where everyone just walks up to Sari in a hammock and goes, "Hey, this is what happened. What do you think?"
Well, I agree that they're being dumb and that they shouldn't be doing that, but I don't know.
It's just over and over and over. And it's just I guess this is the thing, when this happened with Russell, this happens with a lot of the great players where they just, everything kind of falls in their lap.
If you were to compare it to sports, right? Like when I get out there and there's a player, like we're playing hockey and there's somebody who can triple deke before I can even react to their first step. That's what Sari is to Survivor. I feel like she's just playing on a different level from a lot of them. And she has that natural ability to pull them in. And for people to trust them because they think that the person she is on the outside of the game, the relationship they have with her on the outside of the game is the same as on the inside because she presents very much the same way and disarms them. And then she gets all this information. And that's why she's been able to keep her numbers in check this season. So, you can either respect it or
I do respect it. I disrespect everyone else, especially someone like Ozzy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Ozzy, what are you doing? But for now, Ozzy thinks that me and Rizzo and Sari are gonna go to the end.
And lose. And Rizzo, I get. He's just happy to get to the end. That's how I kind of read him.
I think he wants to win. If you really watched him last season, Foster, I think that he didn't win because he didn't really take enough risk. And he lost the fire making really ultimately, but I think he would have lost anyway in the end.
The biggest problem with Rizzo is that he more often than not is a fanboy on the show.
Yes.
And he's not a contestant.
Yes.
Right? He's not focused on winning the game. He's focused on being a part of the game. I don't know if you see what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, he's like a little bit of a spectator in his own story here because he's around these legends.
Yeah, and then also too, I've said this about him as well. People don't view him as a threat. He's not a social threat in my opinion. He's definitely not a challenge threat.
Yeah.
He kind of everyone knows he has an idol, but they just don't really care.
Everyone knows Ozzy has an idol.
I know, but the problem is that every time they start trying to gather numbers, they tell Sari.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think they're like, well, once they tell Sari and Ozzy knows he's going to play the idol, it's like, well, we can't put all these votes on Ozzy. We need to put the votes on someone else now, and then it blows up, and then they can't
right now, what it comes down to is that based on who's the 9 letter left, it's really going to come. It's now going to be ending up being Sari, Rizzo, Ozzy, Joe, and Tiff, right? Unless somehow Jonathan, Emily, and Devins can convince.
Sorry to interrupt you, Josh, but
No,
what was
okay.
the final numbers here tonight?
Oh, who voted for who?
Yeah, no. How many people were voting tonight?
10.
There's
Yeah,
10 votes.
because-
10.
yeah,
Well,
okay,
there was
yeah.
10. There was
10 votes, but
10
two
votes.
of the 10 were
Stephanie.
Steph's because
Right.
she stole
Okay.
Devin's.
All it would have so all you needed was 6 to
You
win
need
the
six.
vote, right? Okay. So all you needed was Stephanie's 2 votes, and then you had Jonathan.
No,
And then-
Jonathan voted against Stephanie.
No, I'm just.
But
hear me out.
theoretically.
Hear me out.
Well,
here.
no, but yeah, but
because
she
what
did
we
steal
saw in the
Devin's.
episode is
Yeah.
if you had Stephanie's 2 votes and you stole one from, let's say you stole from Sari, okay, you didn't steal from Devins, and Devins voted with them, right? So because Devins was the one that was scared, he was going home. So you had the 2 Stephanie votes, you had the Devins vote, you had Jonathan, you had Emily, and that's 5 right there, and then like it's at worst a 5-5 tie. Like it really didn't take much to get to go after Sari is what is my point here.
Oh, they could have put this on Sari, but like I don't. Somebody.
She's the biggest threat in the game. Like it's obvious she's the biggest threat in the game. Everybody should know that's playing.
And I guess ultimately because Jonathan and Stephanie were allied here with Joe, but Joe seemed like he cares more about being allied with Sari than them.
Well, like everyone is doing that. Like that's what I said earlier. Everyone is attaching themselves to Sari because she's the kingpin of the beach. Like she is. Like no matter who goes up to her, she goes, "Hey, they're coming after you."
Well, she automatically knows that like Stephanie is lying when she comes up to her. She's
but that's not the point. The point is every single person on the tribe thinks Sari is like their friend, basically, and is looking out for them. But like that's not true. Like she's really only looking out for Ozzy, and herself, obviously. But really, like she needs an ally. She needs a ride or die, and like Ozzy's it. And Ozzy has the idol, so that's a good ride or die to have in case you're in trouble.
And she got Rizzo, who's like her number 2.
Yeah, Rizzo's just like the.
He also has the idol.
Yes, so perfect, exactly. So she's using those idol shields,
and she has an extra
to make
vote.
sure she's okay. And if she actually felt like the votes, this is why also like she actually felt like the votes were coming after her, she'd just go Rizzo or Ozzy, give me your idol, and I'm playing it on me.
I don't know if they can because those are boomerang idols, and they can't. They're Billie Eilish boomerang idols, which is a special type of idol that can't be played on anyone else.
Okay,
right?
So again, perfect. Go after Sari, like like you're
and they talk about that today. Like, oh, they can't play it on Sari, so like Sari is this is a good. But then it poofs away, it evaporates.
It poofs away because like people like Stephanie, they and like Jonathan, they just don't see the forest through the trees. Like where you just stop. Hey, all we need is we need Devins. Like like. And for some reason, I think it was like, for some reason, all of a sudden, like when Stephanie like had that fight with Sari, it was over. Like when she had that like confrontation with her on the beach or whatever, like at camp, I was like, it's done. She's done.
Sari is like, she decided her death warrant. Like,
well,
that
yeah,
was
she did. But like you don't like there was no reason to even engage with Sari. Like if you actually want to like do a vote where you actually like Stephanie should know this. Like she's played 3 times. Yeah. Like like you don't do that. Like like you gather the votes and you say, hey, this is our only chance. Like like Sari's gonna win this game.
Let's hear Steph's final remarks one more time, just to see if she figured that out for herself.
Out of the 4 torch snuffs, this is definitely the hardest. I really wasn't the idea behind the plan of Ozzy. That was Jonathan, but I took the fall for him, so here I am. But you know what? I'm really not a sore loser. There can only be one winner. I'm super proud of how far I went, so I'm looking forward to sitting on that jury and watching them eat each other.
Wait, can you go back to because did Aubrey spell Stephanie's name wrong too?
She did. Well, she spelled Steph, Steph. Right?
She had an F, right? Because everyone else had
like STEF.
Someone had an F. I thought it might have been Aubrey.
And then Aubrey makes a comment about and Aubrey makes a comment like that's not how my name's spelled.
That's not how I spell my name.
Well, then it might have gone both ways. Jesus, where is Survivor videos. Oh, okay, I can play it again.
Out of the 4 torch snuffs, this is definitely the hardest. I really wasn't the idea behind the plan of Ozzy. That was Jonathan, but I took the fall for him, so here I am. But you know what? I'm really not a sore loser. There can only be one.
Okay, it's Joe. It's
It was
Joe.
Joe.
I've noticed that Joe has bad spelling.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to spell people's names. Is that what's the proper way to spell Aubrey then? Because that makes sense. Maybe
I
that's
think
not
he
her
did
spelling.
He did. She
Oh.
did the E.
Aubry, and like so, yeah. Like, she doesn't.
Oh, AUE. Oh, okay.
Aubry. Anyway, so that, that's it. Stephanie was also a member of Team Jane and Dave in our draft, which is now completely dead, as Dee and Savannah are also out. So I cannot win this.
Power.
I went with Girl Power. It didn't work. This was not the team to do it. I thought it would look.
You
good.
picked 2 winners on this season. It's not smart.
I thought, like, hey, there could be like Sandra won twice.
Yeah, only because again the Russell of it all.
Like if Russell Hantz was here, then Stephanie maybe could have won.
Yeah,
but it didn't work out like that. So we're down to the final 9, everyone, and we have what 3 episodes left after this. So
where's
they have to have a
Team Jeff
double,
and
they have to have a
Amanda?
double photo.
How's that doing?
Team Jeff and Amanda in the draft. Let's have a look. Where are you, Jane, Amanda? So you lost Mike White. You have Suri and you have Devins. Suri and Devins isn't bad.
Yeah, looking pretty good.
While we're here, let's check in with Foster. Long dead.
Oh,
All
dead for a while.
Oh God,
Dead for a
like
while.
Girl Power as well.
Long gone. This was not the season to go girl power. This is when you should. So did anyone take all guys?
Did Daryl?
He did.
They're always picks guys.
Daryl's only got Joe left. I don't see Joe. Okay, of this final 9, maybe that's the last thing we should go through. It's like who could actually win, or who like
It's Suri, Ozzy, and Joe in that order.
If Ozzy gets to the end without Suri, does he win?
I think so.
All right, let's do a little test here. Predict your final 3. Who do you think is the final 3?
I think it will be Suri, Ozzy, and Rizzo. I think that's what it will end up being. Or I guess, but there's
that's the obvious. That's the obvious one.
That's the obvious. I think that will be. I think those 3 people will be in the final 4, but only 2 of them will end up.
Okay,
being
who will be
final
the
4.
other person in the 4? And because there's fire making, so there one of the 4th person could also make it just because of the fire making.
It's probably.
I feel like Joe. I might be the safest final 3 bet because he's not like no one looks at him as a threat. Like, he's not a threat. He's not.
There's a good chance he's there anyway because of challenges.
No. I don't think he's gonna win. I'm just saying people are not like he's not threatening in the sense of like attacking you. Not like he's like he's like a game threat.
And I don't think he's that big of a threat to win at the end against most of these people.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he's a safer.
But I don't think he knows that.
No, he's a safer final 3 options, but
he plays
he's a boring version of Coach.
Yeah, he's a real boring and way better challenges.
And better challenge. So a more competitive version of Coach.
He's the player. Coach is the coach, and he's the player.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the other players still in the game. Emily. What would she like? Can she win? Would you like her to win?
Get to the final 4.
No.
Can Devins?
What just on Emily? Like, are you cheering for Emily on any level? Do you like her as a cast member? Like, how do you feel about Emily?
Stale at this point. Has some moments early on, but I'm kind of like over, like kind of just chicken with her head cut off.
I feel like tonight when she said to Devins, like, "Oh, like you gave me new life in the game," like her, like she's like just attached to Devins. Like that's kind of what the vibe I get.
She's attached to the moment. Like you saw like her go over to Devins tonight, but like she'll be in with Ozzy the next moment. Like Emily's a real chaos I'd say like messy player, like really sloppy player. And like I think that's part of your frustration, Jeff, is like, what is this? Like she's kind of an amateur, she's kind of a chaos agent on some levels. So like, she's kind of But
she's
for
not a
this kind of
chaos
level,
cast. Give me a
She's not-
chaos cast instead of her.
she's not
You
a
know?
chaos cast. Like not a. She's not an organized chaos. She's just a chaos, like a chaotic.
Just, yeah, like kind of
um,
chicken with the head cut off. Is what Josh said. Like,
Yeah, she's
She's
just
not
she's
really-
living moment to moment, and like it's
she's
not.
there because Suri wants her to be there.
She's definitely like a symptom of this new era where you're just trying to get till tomorrow, and I think that's what Emily is like. Emily doesn't have a vision. Maybe
That's
most
how
of,
Survivor is now because it's like every day it's a friggin'
but I think she's like the epitome of that. Okay, then well, Jonathan's the other player I think that's interesting to go to the end potentially. I don't know how people would feel about him in the jury. And if he can win or not, but if he's in that final four somehow with Ozzy, Suri, and Rizzo, if that's my hypothetical final four, and somehow Jonathan's the fourth, that could be interesting. Like if it ends up like a fire making Jonathan versus
So how about
Ozzy?
this? So if it was, let's say Suri's not in the final three, but it's, let's just say for your scenario, Dave, it's Rizzo, Ozzy, and Jonathan.
Mhm.
Who gets it?
I
I would still say Ozzy.
I think
but-
Ozzy's I think you have to favor Ozzy, but that's not who I would want to vote for personally. And I wish it would be a closer vote. I think it's possible, but I think you're right that it couldn't end up going just Ozzy because of legacy and him being like going back to so far. He's one of the more veteran players here, but I also think in that final three, I think Jonathan and Rizzo can definitely give a better speech than Ozzy, and definitely charm the jury probably more.
That's a
effectively.
big reason why Ozzy lost his first season.
So I wouldn't say it's a lock either. Like, would you agree with that, Jeff? Like, do you think that like if Ozzy got to the end with Rizzo and Jonathan, hypothetically, that he would
He'd
win?
probably win if it was those two with him. But if it was like Ozzy's with like Devins, if Devins is at the end with like Ozzy and Suri, or like Suri's gonna win, but like if it's Devins could probably outtalk Ozzy. You know what I mean?
Like that Devins is the other player. Like after tonight, like I'm wondering, like, do they need to get him out sooner than later? Does
now he's got an idol.
He's got the but they can try. Like so does Rizzo and so does Ozzy.
Yeah,
and
that's why Jonathan's going home next.
And well,
wait, Devins is an idol. Wait, Devins is
Devins.
an idol.
Yeah,
now?
it's part of his.
It was just immunity for the night.
No, it was
he got
both. It was immunity for the night plus an immunity idol.
Yeah, that's why like Jaemeel was saying. Suri's got to be careful now because she could get to the end where like two or three people have an idol, and that's
Devins
why Jaemeel was
idol,
saying that Suri's got to turn on Ozzy. Because
theoretically, Devin's idol doesn't have this restriction of only have to be played on yourself. We'll have to see if he opens it up in the next episode. But but Ozzy and Rizzo's idol can only be played on themselves. Where if Devin's is transferable, it's a much more valuable idol, right? Because you can play it on an ally like Aubrey or Emily. If those three end up working together till the end, maybe
that's what makes it a boomerang idol. You can only play it on yourself.
The idea of it is you can only play it on yourself because if you get voted out with it in your pocket, it goes back to the person who originally sent it to you. But in a lot of cases, those people are gone already, so it doesn't matter. But that's the Billie Eilish of it all. Okay, so I don't know. Devin's like maybe he can win at the end. I think after tonight, after he wins this coin flip, and he doubles the pot to 2 million, and he gets to the end, and he can tell a story about like, hey, I played bold, I played big, I did all these crazy things. Like, of course he's a threat to win. I think
he is for sure.
I think that they have to want to get him out next. Like, like they got Steph out tonight, and like if he's not the biggest target going forward, yeah, sure, he's got the idol, but like they got to be like, if you're ever gonna flush an idol out, you better do it on him. That's the whole thing.
His problem is, can he get the people that he needs to be on his side back on his side because he just turned on them?
I think you just saw Emily. Emily's ready to be his disciple after tonight.
Right. But is Jonathan and Joe ready to go with him?
Not so sure.
Not Joe.
Because the problem is right now, the way I look at the game is Suri and Ozzy are like, and Rizzo are kind of the de facto final three. Okay.
I think with Jonathan not having Stephanie now, I think Jonathan's a free agent. Jonathan can do anything. Like,
well, it would free to do what? To go with Suri and Ozzy?
Go with whoever. Like whoever.
There's
Devins.
only two options. There's two
Devins. I think it's his option.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is my whole point. Will Devins see, like, tonight was interesting because when he like turned on them on that side, and then he won the flip and he got the idol, and it's just like, okay, so now what are you gonna do, Devins? Now you have power.
And he really burned the relationship with Jonathan, but really those two should work together moving forward.
Well, yeah, this is the whole way. Like people like Suri win the game is they get those people to fight each other, and then they kill each other, and then they don't have like Suri.
Then they pick up the pieces from it all.
Yeah,
right?
no heat's coming toward her.
Yeah, and then the dust clears and she'll be standing on top of it all.
That's why, like, I will be shocked next week, like, if Jonathan is not the one voted out. Like, I would bet dollars to donuts.
Oh, he so needs to win the next immunity if he wants to keep going.
Like, if he doesn't win immunity next week, then if he does, Emily's going home. Like,
or Devins. I think Devins is still
Devins
a huge
isn't going home because he's an idol.
So no one will vote for him, right? Because it's too risky.
Well, if they do, they'll have to split the votes.
But he can also give it to somebody else, like hold on to this for me because they were planning to not vote for me or whatever. Right?
Yes, but
different things. Okay, let's have a look at the next episode.
There's a clear block here. Like what I'm trying to say is Suri, Rizzo, and Ozzy are going to be a block. And they have the idols to protect them.
Oh yeah, Suri, Ozzy, Suri, Ozzy, Rizzo are a block.
What's the other block? Name me the other block.
It's Devins, Aubrey, and potentially Emily.
Okay, so they have one idol between their three.
Right?
Are they against?
And then you got Joe. You got Joe and Jonathan in there, right? So where did Joe and Jonathan go?
And Aubrey, but also too, like you didn't also mention Aubrey.
And
I did mention Aubrey.
The great TV character of Tiffany.
Oh yeah, Tiffany. Like she's one of the 9, but we keep forgetting about her, even though she won immunity. Right?
Sucks.
She's not like I don't care. She's great at competitions, but in terms of her gameplay, it's whatever.
Who's she with?
She's with Aubrey.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So is she?
I feel from watching the show, it feels like she's with Suri.
Yeah, it did tonight. It felt like she was completely with Suri right now. So I don't know. I guess Tiffany's kind of in the middle. Depending on what Aubrey wants to do now. Like I feel like Aubrey has been in the middle. So it really comes down to who's actually wants to be with Devins. Is it just Emily? Is it going to be Jonathan?
It probably will be. It probably will be like
because who it won't be. It won't be Joe. Joe doesn't like Devins,
right.
So I don't see that ever coming to fruition. Even though again, like they should work together to get Suri out, but they won't because Joe's an idiot.
Yeah, well, yeah, Joe isn't. He's a code and loyalty. He's like a Marine.
He's a boring coach who's better at challenges, as we've described him tonight. Let's have a look at the next time on Survivor here, episode 11. It's called "Everyone Will Be Shooketh." Here it is.
$2 million now. Next time on Survivor.
Uncertainty is at a new high.
I go into panic mode.
I can convince him to play it on me.
Shut your mouth.
The biggest moment in the game. It's now or never.
Everyone will be shooketh.
Oh my God.
Well, Devins is loving himself. That was the main thing I took away from that preview. He's the one who says everyone will be shooketh.
If I were him, oh my God.
How much do you think the $2 million changes the rest of this? Like,
nothing. It's
like
I don't really think that.
I remember. Do you think that they'll keep it at $2 million after the season, or is this just like a one?
Well, they did Winners and Worst was $2 million. They made this big deal that $2 million. They did this already.
I forgot there was $2 million on Winners at War. It's been so long. That's right. Tony did get Tony has $3 million basically. Yeah. Good for Tony. Foster, is there anything in that preview that got you going? No MrBeast. You don't have to worry about MrBeast next week.
My heart, thank you.
Unless he comes back and takes over Survivor and makes you live inside of a grocery store for 90 days.
It's like you don't want me to come back, Dave. What are we doing here? I mean, I guess, again, there's always the misdirects. I don't really know. There's really not really much you can take away from that clip, to be honest. I don't know.
I really just like the editing this season because they're trying their best to like make me feel like something's going to happen, and then the most obvious thing happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're really because they're like, oh, it was kind of a foregone conclusion. It was going to be Steph, but then it was. So we had to make it seem like no one knew.
There's chaos. Oh my god, anything can happen. And it's like, no, it's not. It's like, yeah, obviously it's going to be Steph.
Like in the next episode, they'll show us like that live tribal that everyone knew it was going to be Steph, and then it was an 8-2 vote, and then it was not as chaotic as it seemed, but whatever. You're right, Jeff. She was done when Suri was like, "You're done."
Well, yeah, she was stupid. Like she was panicked. She panicked and she tried to confront Suri and create a moment, and it was stupid.
Dumb.
Like, it really dumb. Like what she should have done was solidify Devins. And if she had solidified Devins, then she would have had Emily, and then you just got to get Jonathan and Joe on your side to vote at Suri, and that and then even if the idol gets played, so be it. But like, that was the play to me. Like you gotta shoot your bullets at Suri, because she's gonna win the game. Like that's how Survivor works. Like this, and the problem is a lot of these new players, they get into the game and they can't see the forest through the trees. Like that's not, it's not about the next day. It's about getting to the end and winning, like,
yeah, that's what they don't get.
I mean, I get it. Like if you're going to tribal council every night, that's tough. Like it's tough to see it. Like I get, but.
And they are they had night 17 off. So, but they voted out Chris and Coach 2 in a row, or the same night, right?
Once, right? Yeah.
Right. So they took it the next night
Double
off.
eviction.
So basically, they have been going almost every single night.
Yeah, it's and that is tough because it's so fast.
Day 19, they're into the final week now, right? So like this 9 is going to become 5 and 4 pretty fast. All right. Well. We're going to sign up for tonight. Thanks for being with us here on Super Mario Brothers podcast, where we broke down this episode 10, A Side Dish of Chaos. We will be back in 1 week to cover episode 11. It will be Shooketh. And check out Jason tomorrow on Hey, Did You See This One? With Stephen Waters talking about Final Fantasy VII. If you're into that stuff.
They do video game?
I think they're doing, or maybe it's a video game movie. I don't know. Jaemeel would be really mad at us right now because we don't know the details. But check that out. And if you're into Final Fantasy or not, and then check out the Live Long and Podcast channel where we got Star Trek stuff all the time. Mondays For All Mankind. Thursdays Star Trek: The Next Generation. We'll be on tomorrow night to talk about Remember Me, a Dr. Crusher episode. So check that out on the Live Long and Podcast channel. All right. Well, Foster, thanks for being with us. Jeff and Jaemeel, regrets from Jason R. Phillips, and we'll see you next time here. And we'll leave you with this clip. Have a good night, everyone.
Let's go! Come on, Survivor 50. Get it on. Come on, join me.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, Did You See This One? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mario Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.